The United States Secretary of State Marco Rubio announced in Paris that the United States may withdraw from efforts to broker peace between Russia and Ukraine within days if negotiations remain stalled. This marks a very important moment in a conflict that began with Russia's annexation of Crimea in 2014 and escalated into full-scale war in 2022. The United States, under President Donald Trump, has pushed for a rapid resolution, reflecting both domestic pressures and shifting global priorities. Historically, the United States has played a central role in supporting Ukraine, providing tens of billions of dollars in military and financial aid since 2022. The war has seen Russia occupy about one-fifth of Ukrainian territory, with neither side able to secure a decisive victory. The Paris talks involving leaders from France, the United Kingdom, Germany, Ukraine, and the United States aimed to advance a peace framework proposed by Washington. France's President Emmanuel Macron and Britain's Foreign Secretary David Lammy participated, denoting the conflict's significance for European security. Rubio's ultimatum is rooted in frustration with the lack of progress. He stressed that the United States would not remain at the negotiating table for weeks and months on end. The Trump administration's stance is influenced by a desire to fulfill campaign promises to end the war quickly. Trump previously pledged to settle the conflict within 24 hours of taking office, a timeline later extended to the spring of 2025. Trump's own background in business negotiations shapes his approach, emphasizing speed and leverage. The United States' threat to disengage places pressure on both Russia and Ukraine. For Ukraine, continued American support is vital. The country relies on Western military aid to resist Russian advances. The prospect of losing this backing could force Kyiv to consider concessions, including territorial or economic deals. One such deal involves Ukraine's rare earth minerals, which are critical for modern technologies. The United States and Ukraine are close to finalizing an agreement granting American companies access to these resources, a move that could reshape Ukraine's post-war economy. For Russia, a potential U.S. withdrawal could present an opportunity. Without American mediation, Moscow may feel emboldened to escalate military operations or demand more favorable terms. Russian officials have described the negotiations as complex, but have avoided clear commitments. In recent weeks, Russia intensified attacks on Ukrainian cities, such as Sumy and Kharkiv, ending a temporary moratorium on strikes against energy infrastructure. These actions signal Moscow's willingness to use force as leverage. European allies, meanwhile, are concerned about the prospect of American disengagement. France, the United Kingdom, and Germany have all called for continued U.S. involvement, recognizing that Washington's influence is unmatched. The North Atlantic Treaty Organization, that is NATO, relies on American leadership to maintain unity and deter further Russian aggression. If the United States steps back, European countries may face increased pressure to fill the gap, both militarily and economically. The next round of talks in London will be crucial. If Ukraine and Russia fail to agree on the U.S. proposed term sheet, the United States may follow through on its threat to withdraw. This could reshape the balance of power in Eastern Europe and impact global diplomatic norms. The minerals deal, if signed, may offer a lifeline for continued engagement, but its controversial repayment terms have sparked debate in Kyiv. In this way, the United States ultimatum represents a strategic gamble. It aims to force rapid progress but risks weakening Ukraine and altering the geopolitical landscape if talks collapse. The coming days will determine whether Washington remains a key player or pivots to other global challenges with far-reaching consequences for Ukraine, Russia, Europe, and the broader international order.